for a new government website where people in the U.S. can find and compare private sector retirement savings accounts. The order intended to help more people gain access to retirement plans before next year. On Wall Street at the closing bell, the Dow was up 790 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy this evening, a low temperature dipping down to 55. Tomorrow we'll get clouds throughout the day. A slight 20% chance we get a shower. The high is 70. Saturday's a rain out. 90% chance we get rain in the morning and afternoon. Cooler also, the high is 63. But Sunday is wonderful. Sunshine, a high of 70. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point look of weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Good to have you with us on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in the Palmetto State. Phil Kornblut and the plumber, Josh Cohen, with you tonight from our studios at The Point Radio. Tell a friend in Columbia. Chris Bergen off for the next 2 nights. A little getaway time for Bergie. Guy's been working really, really hard, so he needs some time away, and we need some time away from him.
Do I get getaway time? Do I get to get away at some point?
We're working on a permanent solution to that.
Is that right?
Yes. I can't have a college dropout working in such a high-profile position. You know, that chair that you sit in has had some very high-profile rear ends in it over the years, okay? So I just –
What makes you think I'm dropping out?
A college dropout just is not going to cut it for us. So, anyway, we'll discuss that privately. Phone number 888-898-2525. That is the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number for you to reach us here on Sports Talk. Our text line number is 803-900-4847. Feel free to give us a call here early on or send us a text message. We'll respond to your comment or your question. South Carolina's got another kicker in the fold. You know, Shane Beamer had said that he was going to continue to look at the portal, John, to see what might float out of it down his way, and so he's taking another kicker. Is that a sign that he didn't like what he saw in the spring with his kickers, or he just wants another piece of competition, or this kicker was too good to pass on? Malik Orson is his name, and he's coming to South Carolina from make sure I get this right, Southeast Missouri State, where he was a freshman last season but did not have any stats. He's a native of St. Louis, and he was a kicker at Cole's Kicking at their showcase and did well before he went to Southeast Missouri, and now he's coming to South Carolina, so that's an addition to South Carolina, a pickup out of the free agency market, the portal, John, however you want to term it. That's what's happening there with South Carolina as they pick up somebody else to compete this summer and this fall for the kicking job, which will be very important for South Carolina. One thing they need to do, of course, is extend the range of their field goal kicking. I mean, you want to be accurate, of course, but you got to have some length. You got to be 53, 54. You got to be able to hit consistently these days with today's football. You got to be able to hit 53, 54 yarders when put in that situation. Great show coming up for you tonight because we want to have a great show. We got Coach Eric Bakich for the first time in a while. He will be talking with us bottom of this hour. The Tigers facing a a huge, huge stretch of their schedule now, considering that they are in last place in the ACC, a place that that's just not a place they're used to being in. 26-19 and 6-15. See, ordinarily, you look at the matchup with Boston College, and all these numbers would be flipped. Boston College is ranked number 13. They're 34-14 and 16-8. Typically, that would be Clemson, if not even better. But the Tigers are unranked. They're 26-19. They're 6-15 in the ACC. That's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing the trouble the Tigers have had this year to this point. They, as I go back here and scroll through their ACC schedule, they lost their series to Georgia Tech. They lost their series to Notre Dame. They were swept. They lost their series to Miami. They took the series from Stanford, lost the series to North Carolina, lost the series to Virginia, swept by Louisville. So they've got one series win. One series win. As bad as South Carolina's had it this year, they've got two SEC series wins to their credit. This Boston College team with Coach Todd Interdonato, man, they're having a heck of a year, and they average over 7 runs a game. They won their midweek game 7-6, a 286 batting average, a 421 ERA. They field at 97%. They steal bases. He stole bases when he was at Wofford. He steal bases there. They've got a guy with 24 stolen bases. They got a guy with 14 home runs. So this is not your granddaddy's Boston College baseball team. This is a good team. They will face, the Tigers will, tomorrow, left-hander A.J. Colarusso, who is a very, very good left-handed pitcher. I believe last year in the ACC tournament, he did a number on North Carolina in the quarterfinals, as I recall. Now, Clemson's changing things up. Dane Moeller is going to start for the Tigers on Friday. Michael Sharman on Saturday. Aiden Canuck on Sunday. So a major change there. First time all season they've done something like that. And so we'll see if that makes a big difference. And we'll talk with the coach about the reasoning behind that and his thoughts about his team and everything else going into the series when he joins us at 6:35. Of course, we heard from Monty Lee last night. We heard more from him today as the Gamecocks were getting on the bus to go to the airport to fly to LSU. It's looking as if tomorrow night could be a washout in Baton Rouge. They're already talking about playing a doubleheader on Saturday. So nothing is for sure when it comes to the game tomorrow night in Baton Rouge. Two teams at the bottom of the SEC, pretty much at the bottom. South Carolina's 14th. LSU is 15th. The Gamecocks are 7-14 in the league. The Tigers are 6-15. They've won 25 games, lost 21. The Gamecocks have won 22 and lost 24. We went over some of these numbers on LSU last night. They still swing it pretty well, a 281 team batting average. They have hit 75 home runs and 75 doubles. So that's pretty good. They have stolen 36 of 48. Neither one of these teams runs a whole heck of a lot. Their pitching has been their problem, of 5.32 ERAs we talked about last night. They've given up more walks in the Gamecocks, 226. They field it worse than USC. They're at 964. So two teams that have struggled, have had their issues, are going to meet up at the box this weekend. Hopefully tomorrow night things will hold up and they'll be able to get the game in as planned. South Carolina will be going with their rotation of now that they've been going with, which is Amp Phillips tomorrow night, Brandon Stone on Saturday, and TBA on Sunday. LSU is going to counter with a right-hander, William Schmidt. He's 4-4 with a 4.17 on Friday. And then Marcus Paz, Marcus Paz on Saturday, 0-2 with a 7.23 ERA. But the thing you have to factor in here is, of course, handling yourself as the visiting team at Alex Box Stadium, which is a intimidating place when the Bayou Bengal fans are into it. Will they be into it? That'll be the question. Are they going to be loud? Are they going to be on the backs of the Gamecocks. They're going to be causing some problems as far as rowdiness and being a distraction, that sort of stuff. See how that plays out tomorrow night with them. Mike Morgan at 7:05. Morgan on the move. Looking forward to having him with us tonight to get his thoughts. Really going to focus on the Atlanta Braves with Mike tonight. I mean, that's what we originally hired him for decades ago, to be a Braves reporter after our original Braves reporter went on to do something else. What was his name? We had, you might remember, those of you who've been with us for a while, we had the beat writer for the Braves with us every night before a Braves game. What was his name? Bill. He got mugged in the parking lot of the Cincinnati Reds one night, I remember. He was very good. But then he moved on, I think, to something else. And Mike took over because Mike was doing baseball. He was in Atlanta. And so the Braves are, they're playing great baseball right now. You got to give the Braves their due. Quite the turnaround from this time last year when they were playing themselves early out of the postseason. This year they got the best record in baseball, I think, at this point, or one of them. So we'll have him. And then 7:35, ladies and gentlemen, your friend and ours, Dr. Rick Sanford. Had lunch with Dr. Rick the other day. I said, did you keep up with the draft? He said, oh, yeah. I said, I was all over it. So he's going to join us to give us his thoughts on the draft. What he saw from the locals and what he saw from teams around the NFL as far as Panthers and, of course, his Patriots and other teams. He'll talk about some of the guys that maybe went earlier than he expected, some who went later than he expected. So there you go. That's our lineup for tonight, plus recruiting. Some phone calls, 888-898-2525 if you want to join us with a comment or a question, an observation. A criticism, if you can find anything to criticize, personal criticism of the plumber will be accepted. Okay, we will accept that as well.
I probably won't let you read it on the air.
We're talking about phone calls.
Well, I mean, I have a button right here that stops the phone call.
You've never hit that button at the right time. Never hit that button at the right time. So
that's false.
Any criticism would get through. And, of course, your praise is also welcomed. Recruiting, we'll have a full recruiting report for you as well, and we'll be right back.
Calling all turkey hunters, this is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Turkey season is coming soon. The most common accident while turkey hunting is failing to identify your target. Know the identifying features of a turkey. Make sure of your target and what lies beyond it before you pull the trigger. Remember, safe hunting is no accident. For more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network. On this big Thursday night, 888-898-2525, the number if you want to join us. Beautiful day outside, except for a little rain maybe here and there. Should be okay moving forward. Certainly hope so. We want you to enjoy the weather. And when the weather's like this, you want to get down to the beach of South Carolina. And when you go to the beach of South Carolina, unless you already have a place or you want to stay at a hotel, you want to do something else, and you want to go down to Pawleys or Litchfield or Surfside or Garden City, well, really any spot along the coast, give Jimmy Smith the call at James Smith Real Estate, 843-237-4246, online at PawleysVacationRentals.com. They can help you set up your perfect beach getaway with the exact size and location that you need, and also, of course, to fit that budget. So if you need something large to handle like 14 or 15 or 20 people, you need something to only handle 2, he can find what you're looking for, a condo or a house. He can also sell you some property as well. 843-237-4246. You won't find a finer group at the beach. That is Jimmy Smith at James Smith Real Estate, PawleysVacationRentals.com. Get in touch with them. Let them take care of all your vacation needs at the beach. All right, several notes to go through tonight of interest. Coastal Carolina expecting weather in their area. I'm sorry, it'll be in Statesboro. They're playing at Georgia Southern. So that game's been moved up to a 12 o'clock first pitch tomorrow. Coastal at Georgia Southern. It's good to know the ACC listens to Sports Talk. Remember earlier in the week when I said if the ACC tournament were today, Clemson would be the 16 seed and would play the first game on Tuesday at the tournament against the 9 seed. Well, they now have put out a bracket, the if the season ended today bracket, and Clemson would play NC State in the first game of the tournament on that Tuesday morning. Wake Forest would play Duke. Cal would play Pitt. Virginia Tech would play Notre Dame. The teams getting the byes into day 2 would be Stanford, Florida State, Louisville, Virginia. And the teams getting the byes into day 3 would be Georgia Tech, Miami, North Carolina, and Boston College. But that's as of today. Things can happen, as we well know. So Duke is entering into a multi-year partnership with Amazon from Pete Thamel, and this will include broadcasting 3 marquee men's basketball games next season. This will be Amazon's first he says foray. I don't want to use that word. I want to say dip into the pool into live collegiate programming. So Amazon now expanding, as you would expect. Once you get a taste of this stuff, there's no end to it. There's no end to it. It's like when ESPN started doing high school football for the very first time. I think Jadeveon Clowney and South Point, that might have been one of their first national games way back when they did like a game. And I said on Sports Talk back then, okay, get ready. Right now it's a drip. It'll become a trickle, and then it's going to become a flow. And, of course, you know, you got high school football games with ESPN. They'll televise a high school football game Sunday morning at 8 o'clock if you can get them out of church. I mean, they don't care. They're going to televise what they want to televise. And unfortunately, you know, people want to go along with it because they think it's somehow beneficial. I don't think it really is. I hear people complain all the time about what's left behind after those broadcasts are done. So it's not like you make a whole bunch of money out of it. But anyway, I digress. The point is here, these streamers now, as they're getting more and more involved in the sports world, they're going to do more and more stuff. So Amazon entering into this. Duke worked with the ACC and ESPN on future scheduling commitments in exchange for the ability to play these 3 neutral site games, including participating neutral site events in 27-28 and 28-29. That's all from Pete Thamel. And if Duke's doing it, well, who else is going to be doing it here in the near future? And what other streamers are going to be doing it? So look for your favorite college, and don't think it'll just stop at basketball. Look for your favorite college sports team to be having a game on your favorite streaming outlet in the weeks and months and years to come. The Big 12 approved its private capital deal with Redbird Capital, the first such arrangement from a major NCAA conference. Schools have a choice to opt in for the $30 million in capital the league gets, at least $12.5 million infusion as part of a strategic partnership. So there you go, another case here of private equity. This had been talked about for a while, and now that is that's happening. The CW, remember the CW? I hate the CW. I don't hate it, but I'm on DirecTV, and so when Clemson plays basketball on the CW, I can't get it. Haven't been able to get it. And the CW has not been streaming sporting events through their app until now. The CW and ESPN announced a partnership that will allow people to stream games airing on the CW through the ESPN app. So that's good. ACC, Pac-12, Mountain West teams who have games on the CW. That's a positive. We have another preseason football ranking here. This one from CBSSports.com's Brandon Marcello actually came out yesterday. I'm catching up on some stuff we hadn't gotten to. So he likes Texas at number 1, followed by Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, and Notre Dame. Then he's got Indiana at 6, followed by Miami, Texas A&M, LSU, and Oklahoma. So I would say, in my opinion, that Miami will be even higher. And I haven't even looked at their overall roster. I really don't know what they have coming back. I know they've added. They're always going to add, but I think they've got the best quarterback in the ACC in Darian Mensah. And I think that he's an upgrade from Carson Beck. And Mensah's just terrific. What he did at Tulane, then he did what he did at Duke, and give him the weapons that he'll have at Miami. I think Miami might just run the table. I think they're probably a little bit underrated there just because of him. Let's see here. They've got Texas Tech 11, Southern Cal 12, Ole Miss 13, Alabama 14, Michigan 15. And then Clemson they rank at 22nd. And he said this is really more about Clemson's tradition than it is the team they're going to have this coming season. He says it's more a credit to Sweeney's consistency rather than the talent. People really aren't nationally, and even closer to home, people aren't being blown away by this Clemson football team on paper. Now, they got to go out and prove it. Maybe they can prove everybody wrong. And I'm sure Dabo Swinney's going to use the us against the world approach with his guys. The other bus, he's going to have his team on the other bus, the rest of us bus. And that's where they are right now. And really, if that's what a substantial drop-off for the Clemson football program in national perception in just 3 seasons. 2 seasons ago, they were in the playoffs. Then there was last year, and now the expectations this year. But then again, sometimes it's better to keep your expectations low and your results high, fool people. And maybe that's what Clemson will do. No Gamecocks in his preseason top 25, which, a little surprising considering you got a quarterback so highly regarded, and they've got weapons, and they've got an offensive lineman. I saw a mock draft for 2027 that has Peak, the transfer offensive lineman, going in the top 10 picks of the draft. So Jacarius Peak is a guy that is very highly regarded. Once he gets healthy, he should, and if he stays healthy, should be able to stabilize the left side of the offensive line, put Thompson on the right side of the offensive line if he can handle that, and then fill in the middle. Should be better on the offensive line. Beamer's very high on Fuller at running back. He called Fuller. He did an interview with Inside the Gamecocks, Jamie Bradford and those guys. He called Fuller, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but he calls Fuller a very special running back, I think. One of the best ones they've had there since he's been there. So he believes in him. I think he believes that this is based on that. It sounds like he's the guy that might emerge to be the primary ball carrier. He showed some flashes, had that great run against LSU last year, so he has shown some flashes. But the Gamecocks aren't ranked in this particular preseason top 25, so they'll have to go out and prove it. I mean, even if they win those first couple of games, they've got to beat somebody of significance in September before I think they'll get recognized across the board. I mean, there might be some preseason polls that might have them in the between 20 and 25 because of sellers. I mean, if you're going to have Clemson ranked 22 based on what they've got, I would think you could have South Carolina ranked in the same location based on what they've got. Would you take Sellers over Vizina right now? Would you take Sellers over Reynolds right now as far as the quarterbacks go? Would you take South Carolina's receiving core over Clemson's receiving core? I mean, Bryant Wesco, assuming he's healthy, he's special. And Moore is special. We still don't know if Smith's coming back to play. That's been really quiet. There's been no chatter on that. There's been no scuttlebutt on that I've seen. And there's been no resolution, I don't believe, to Tristan Smith. So, I mean, the running backs, I don't think there's a running back at Clemson that's any better than one at South Carolina. Defense, I think, are pretty close. Maybe give Clemson the advantage at place kicker with Hoosier. But otherwise, pretty close matchup.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy this evening, a low temperature dipping down to 55. Tomorrow we'll get clouds throughout the day. A slight 20% chance we get a shower. The high is 70. Saturday's a rain out. 90% chance we get rain in the morning and afternoon. Cooler also, the high is 63. But Sunday is wonderful. Sunshine, a high of 70. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
House District. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has signed a bill funding much of the Department of Homeland Security and ending the longest agency shutdown in history. The bipartisan funding measure passed the House earlier Thursday. The Trump administration had warned that temporary funds to pay Transportation Security Administration and other personnel would soon run out if Congress failed to act. Louisiana's congressional primaries won't be going forward as scheduled in May as a result of a U.S. Supreme Court ruling. Republican Governor Jeff Landry on Thursday issued an executive order suspending the congressional primary to give time for state lawmakers to draw new House districts. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 790 points, the Nasdaq rose 219, the S&P 500 advanced 73. More details at srnnews.com.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
This spring, Founders Federal Credit Union is giving you a fresh start. Open or access your home equity line of credit and get 4.99% APR on funds drawn from April 1st through May 31st. That's more in your pocket for home improvements or even that vacation you've been dreaming about. The possibilities are endless. Imagine a fresh start this spring with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends May 31st. 4.99% promotional APR expires December 31st, 2026. APR will then revert to the standard variable APR, currently 6.75% to 11.75%. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates designed to fit your budget. Don't miss this chance to turn your home's equity into something memorable. Relax, your HELOC just got more powerful. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Sean Paliak, the new owner of Columbia Screen Printing and Design, formerly Bardak Design and Tease Me. We've rebranded, but our experienced staff and quality results haven't changed. We proudly serve the Columbia area with top-notch garments and design, and offer free delivery on our local orders. Visit us on Rosewood Drive near the fairgrounds, or check us out online. For t-shirts, sweatshirts, jerseys, koozies, and more, call Columbia Screen Printing and Design at 254-7940. We're local, fast, and ready to wow you.
Columbia's Office of Business Opportunities presents the 13th Annual Small Business Week Conference, Wednesday, May 6th at the Bastides Alumni Center on Senate Street. Get free business resources from local partners and organizations. Network with other small
Okay, we're back on Sports Talk Media Network. It's a big Thursday night. Great to have you with us, Phil Kornblut and the plumber, Josh Cohen, from our studios here in Columbia. Got more coming your way. Mike Morgan after the top of the hour. Rick Sanford, bottom of hour number 2. Recruiting thrown in there as well. Right now, though, let's turn our attention to Clemson baseball and a big series for the Tigers coming up this weekend against Boston College at Doug Kingsmore Stadium. They need that place to be a home field advantage, no doubt about that, for this weekend series. Let's welcome in Coach Eric Bakich back to Sports Talk once again. And good evening, Coach. How you doing?
Good evening, Phil. How are you?
We're doing great. Great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us. And odd times right now for Clemson baseball. Very odd times. And I know you don't like where your team is right now in the ACC and an overall picture of things. So as you have analyzed things this week with time to do so, what sort of things have you concluded have been some of the issues that you think you can get fixed heading down the stretch?
Well, it's, Phil, have a very bad, we've had very bad success in close games this stretch of the last 7 weeks. I think we're 1-9 or 1-10 in runs in games decided by less than 3 runs. So it's had a lot of 1-run games and 2-run games where the outcome of the game is just, it's been a pitch, a swing, a play, a something. And we certainly haven't helped our own case. We've made some mistakes that have come back to beat us. And so I think, the number one thing that we need to do going into this weekend and going into these next 3 weeks is be fundamentally sound and just be able to play clean baseball, complementary baseball. And that's just what we have failed to do. And ultimately I have failed to do as the leader of the program, is get our guys to play to that standard of, what has made Clemson baseball good in the past. And fundamentally sound baseball, good defense and timely hitting and good pitching. And so, we know we know what we need to do, and we know what our mistakes have been. And, I know that dwelling on them at this point isn't going to serve us. And, it's just from starting tomorrow, it's just, we need to play good baseball. And there's a lot of facets to it, but we just need to play good baseball.
Sure. In practice this week, what have you seen from your guys? Are you seeing a little more attention to detail, a little more giddy up in their step, and a little more not energy, so to speak, that they were lacking energy, but a little more understanding that, hey, we've got to play better baseball. We got to start turning this thing around now, or this season could be totally lost.
Yeah, they know. I mean, they know. They're kids, they're college kids, but they're not dumb. They know. And it's finals week this week, so we're in finals right now. So we've had finals all week, so it's been an odd week. It's not a traditional week. We've had a couple of evening, night practices just around exam schedules, so it's been a little bit different. Part of the team there, part of the team not there. So I'd say it's a very non-traditional week, just with exams. It always is with exams.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that come game time tomorrow, these guys' attention will be all on baseball.
When you go back and look at that Louisville weekend and the errors, so many of them, what do you point to for that? What were some of the? I mean, I didn't get a chance to see all the games, so were some of the errors pure fundamentals?
It was as sloppy as you can get, Phil. I mean, it wasn't just the errors. I mean, we also lost a couple pop-ups in the twilight and the rain. We didn't collect outs on a bunt that turned into a bunt single. So it wasn't just the errors. It was, there was quite a few things that led to those runs. And that was really surprising to me, because the 10 games prior to that, we had really, I thought, corrected a lot of defensive mistakes. And in the previous 10 games going into Louisville, we were fielding 992.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I thought we were playing excellent defense going into Louisville, but the wheels fell off at Louisville defensively in those first two games. And it was just, there was some, careless errors, an inside move pick to second, and the throw hit the runner and caromed into center, and the guy moves to third. And, there was some like what you would normally think of with the errors, you throw it away or whatever, but just kind of all cascaded and started to unravel. And we just unfortunately couldn't find that off switch once that started happening, which was very unfortunate, because we scored 10 runs offensively on Friday, and we felt like we were going to score. We felt like, that was an opportunity really missed. And that's what I mean by complementary baseball. The game that we score 10 runs, we make 5 errors, and it leads to them scoring 13.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, that's not what good teams do. So we need to play complementary baseball, but it starts by being fundamentally sound. And before you can beat the other team, you just can't beat yourself.
Talking with Eric Bakich, Clemson baseball coach. So, I mean, when you look at the ACC standings and you see where you are, how shocked are you where you are when you know this team? You knew what you had when this season began, and here you are down the stretch of the season, and you're in dead last place of the ACC. When you see that, what does that do to you?
I mean, it pisses me off, Phil, to be honest with you. I don't know what you mean by, what do you think it does, right? Like, it's a 180 from what we expect. I mean, it's not like we, have been a bad team. We've been a good team, very competitive in the ACC. So it's a night and day difference from what we've been used to these first 3 years, where we were 20-10 our first 2 years and 18-12 last year. Like, we expect to compete for championships. And it's so to see a Clemson team, I don't care what team at Clemson. Clemson is in my opinion, I've held Clemson has been the gold standard for me, and that's because I came here as a volunteer, and I got the blueprint from Coach Leggett, Coach Corbin, Sully, and saw what the number one team in the country looked like, and I've always just had it as that is the gold standard for me. So to be in last place is, it's maddening, to be honest with you. So we need to work harder and we need to fix it. And the good thing, Phil, is that the season's not over. So just because the standings are what they are doesn't mean they got to stay that way. And we need to do our job. I need to do my job and get us out of there.
Well, you got an opportunity coming up with Boston College, then a midweek with Coastal Carolina, and then Florida State. I mean, you got a chance to turn some things back in the positive direction if you take care of your business.
That's right. We sure do. And we have a shot this weekend, and that's what we got. And the good thing about college baseball, it's not the CFP. Nobody's eliminated from some playoff structure. I mean, even if we had to make a furious run in the conference tournament, even though we haven't shown that, if that's what we have to do too, then that's what we have to do. But we're alive, we've got life, and we're not dead. But we need to show the type of team that we can be, and it needs to happen tomorrow.
Well, you've changed up your pitching rotation for this weekend. Give us the thinking behind that.
Well, we're just selling out to do something different, but also do something to where we feel like, Michael Sharman's our statistical ace this year, and Aiden Canuck has, been a previous All-American, and, to have our two horses kind of going on Saturday and Sunday, the idea is if we can find a way to take care of business tomorrow, where our starting pitching, gets even stronger on Saturday. And then if Aiden, we all know what Aiden Canuck is capable of. And, maybe him seeing a couple of games and seeing their lineup twice, and giving him that couple extra days of rest, maybe that can, really help him have a quality start, because he's an extremely talented pitcher, as we all know.
Sure. Do you have any lineup changes planned at this point, or are you sticking with the guys who've gotten you here?
Well, the biggest thing that we are hoping for is that Jaron Purify will be starting for the first time since the Notre Dame series. He, as everyone knows, he's been out, and that's a big loss. So having him back in the starting lineup would be a boost. So we'll see how his hand feels. He's not fully healed yet, but I think he's going to try to give it a go. And so yeah, I mean, we've had some interchangeable parts here and there, but we've moved the lineup around a lot. We may move the lineup around a little bit with another weekend of 3 lefties, but I think it's going to be consistent with who's been in there, and with the addition of JP, maybe we can really get something going.
How about the job Coach Interdonato has done at Boston College this year? And you knew him, I'm sure, well from his days at Wofford, knew what kind of coach he was there, and he's been at BC now a couple of years, but they're having a very special year. What makes them so tough? Some of the same things that made them tough at Wofford? Maybe with just a better overall lineup at BC?
Well, T.I. is a great coach. We took one of his grad transfers at Michigan back in 2016, and that kid's name was Matt Ramsey. For everyone that remembers 10 years ago, Matt Ramsey, who played at Wofford, and Matt was extremely complimentary of T.I. and his base running savvy and how he teaches base running. And, T.I.'s kind of been, that's been one of his strengths as a coach, of being able to always implement his system offensively of being aggressive on the bases. And so, and that's what good coaches do. And so he's, certainly they're a team that doesn't beat themselves. They're very fundamentally sound. They do everything well, and they can really, really run the bases. They've 100 and something stolen bases, and just a very good team. And so we'll have our work cut out for him. But I've not just been impressed with T.I. this year. He's been one of those coaches that he's been around a while and has been impressive for a long period of time.
127 stolen bases out of 145. So when you have a situation like this with a team like that, what do you say to your catcher? What do you say to Jacob Jarrell about how to handle all this kind of stuff behind the plate?
Well, you just try to keep them off base, number one. But number two, it just Louisville was like that too. They get on and go. They got a lot of speed as well. So you just, as a pitcher, you can do a multitude of things. You can try to be quick to the plate. You can vary your holds. You can pick more. As a catcher, you just, you that they're going, and they've got a lot of stolen bases early in the count. I think they've got almost half their steals are 0-0. So it's not like they wait around and wait, for a 3-2 count or something. They're going to be aggressive from the jump, and so we're anticipating that they will be aggressive and try to steal bases right away. And but JJ's a very capable catcher and a good thrower, so we'll just have to be on our toes and just anticipate that anytime they get a base runner to first, that guy's going to be in motion.
What's your forecast look like weather-wise?
Good tomorrow, and that's the only thing I'm looking at right now, Phil. Is all I'm focused on is tomorrow, and but so weather looks good tomorrow, 6:00 game, and we will be ready to go.
You think your fans will be?
Yeah, I think we got great fans. I think they have high expectations, as they should, and would never want them to think any other way. I mean, I haven't done a good job this year. Our record says that. I know our fans are disappointed, as they should be, and want them to continue to have very high expectations for Clemson baseball, because we're not lowering them. And we know we're not meeting them. We know we're not delivering what the fans expect, what our coaches expect. It's not what our players expect. We're not giving our players the experience they deserve. And so we will get it fixed. And so our fans need to not worry. I will do whatever it takes right now to turn this around and, do whatever it takes this summer to make sure we're never in this position again.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time, and good luck to you this week. Talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you so much. That is Coach Eric Bakich from Clemson. Not easy to talk about your team when things aren't going great, but he did. And he didn't hold back. It's easy to talk about your team when you're winning, when you're in first place and everything's falling into place and everybody's patting you on the back. Not right now, finger pointing from the outside, and not happy times with Clemson baseball, but they'll see if they can get it turned around starting this weekend.
It might be tough to picture your kid in college today, but it'll be here before you know it. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving right now. You can start with any amount. Savings grow tax-free, and friends and family can chip in too. Discover the smart, easy way to save today at FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com. That's FutureScholar.com.
If you're juggling multiple credit card balances, you know how quickly high interest can add up and how stressful it can become. Now through June 30th, 2026, well-qualified borrowers can pause interest when they transfer credit card balances and enjoy 0% APR for 12 months. A balance transfer can simplify your life, making it easier to focus and manage your budget. This limited time offer can help you move forward with confidence. Upon expiration, APR will then revert to the standard variable APR, currently 12.5% to 17.90%. If credit criteria are not met, 17.9% APR will apply. Visit apply.foundersfcu.com to get started today. Not a Founders member yet? Stop by an office near you or visit us online at foundersfcu.com to see if you qualify for membership. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for a new car? You need to think about a Kia.
If you're in the market for an SUV, consider the new Kia Telluride or the new Kia Sorento. They're big, they're strong, and loaded with tech for thousands less than Honda or Toyota. You'll see the difference right away, and you get double the warranty. Plus, you get the JT's Advantage million-mile warranty and about 1,000 other things you have to see to believe.
If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia.
We're serious about saving you money.
All right, we're back. Is that what I think it was? That's not just a fire truck going down Millwood, is it?
This is not a test.
Thanks to Eric Baggage for being with us. An alert listener points out to me when I was commenting about the USC football team and the offensive line, I mentioned Josiah Thompson would be solid on the right side. I forgot he's out for the season.
So Hank called in earlier and said that, but I couldn't hear who he said. So
that's who Hank called in for.
I thought he said Compton. He said Thompson.
Oh, Thompson. Well, thank you, Hank. And somebody else texted me. I'm glad we have listeners smarter than the hosts. That's what makes this show go round and round. Smart listeners, dumb hosts. What's our total at now?
50. We hit the
goal.
mark.
And you know what? How about that for last day of the month? Last day of the month,
Sure,
and we hit the round figure of 50. There's something pretty about that.
I mean, you're getting better, right? So you had 11 January, 22 in
how
February.
many in April?
Only 8 in April. Only 8 in April. You had 9 in March, so a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, New Year, trying to get the kinks worked out after the holidays, and you come back a little rough.
Just saying, you have 42 of the errors. Berkey only has 5, and myself, Smitty, and Mike each only have 1, respectively.
I do most of the talking.
Well,
chances are I'm going to make, and I am the smartest. When you're the smartest, you tend to put yourself out there more, and thus you take a bigger risk. I take risks. I take risks with the facts. I'm sorry. It happens. So
Mike could always make another mistake here.
I'll see if I can trip him up.
Yeah, we should.
Up.
We should try to make him make a mistake.
So Arkansas State, this is in the championship match of the Sun Belt men's golf tournament. Arkansas State has a 4-1 lead on Coastal Carolina. Excuse me. There are still matches ongoing. One match is over. That was a 7-5 result for Arkansas State. Arkansas State leads another one up. They lead another one up. They lead another one up, and Coastal leads one at 1 up. So not over. They can turn it around, but they got to do some work here. They're playing what holes are they on? They are playing holes 12 and beyond. So heading down the home stretch there, see if Coastal can turn that around. And somebody wrote and asked for us to give a shout-out to Presbyterian for winning the Big South tournament, the Blue Hose golf team. We did that last night, by the way. So thank you for writing in. But we mentioned that we went through it player for player last night. And I made a mistake. I got hit with another mistake last night. So as a result of that. Okay, let's go to the phones. Tiger Bryan, before the top of the hour break, is up next here on Sports Talk, following Tiger baseball coach Eric Backich. We go from Tiger baseball to Tiger Bryan. Welcome in, Tiger Bryan.
Oh, my God, you don't want to hear what I got to say.
Go ahead. Go.
He's sitting there. Hey, he better get his agent on the phone, get him a job, because he's going to be done. He's not going to. What's his contract? You know?
I can look it up, but I mean, he's under no.
There's
no concerns about that here.
Excuse my language.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
I'm a true guy. I love y'all. You know that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Look, I mean, come on. We cannot. You cannot listen. Listen to me. Listen to me. 44-19, 20-10. Regional, 44-16, 20-10 super regional, 45-18 and 18-12 regional, all at home, and this year so far 26-19, 6-15. So yes,
all right, but
you can't get mad at one bad season.
And
it's not even yet, and we're not even determined yet if it's a bad season. It might just be a middle of the road
season. I watched them. I mean, you leave the base room. I mean, we get base rooms on. They don't even run them. I mean, beside that, you said you wasn't a good sports talk man. Bull crap.
No, I didn't
You're
say
the
that.
best in the business.
I didn't say that.
No, you said
Phil would never say that.
I would never say that.
I got your back, Gordon.
No, I just
said. Because I got your back. You said you Yeah, something. I said, no. Me and Cole went from being, I hated you, and I give you an X, and to be my best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, best friends like you, who needs enemies, right?
I ain't lying. Hey, I got your back, Cole.
I know you do.
But listen.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all have a great night.
Okay.
I hope he turns it around, but I don't know.
Well, we'll see. This is a crucial weekend. They got a crucial week ahead. They got 3 with BC, number 13. They got 1 at Coastal, number 9. And 3 with Florida State down there. So they got a very difficult stretch ahead. Mike Morgan coming up.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. There's a new Surgeon General nominee from the Trump administration.
President Donald Trump has pulled his nomination for the stalled Surgeon General nominee and says he'll put forth Fox News Channel contributor Dr. Nicole Saphier. That comes after Casey Means' path forward stalled in the Senate over questions about her experience and her stance on vaccines. Senators from both major political parties grilled her, which deepened doubts about her ability to secure the votes she needs for the position. In a social media post, the Republican president said Saphier is a star physician who has spent her career guiding women facing breast cancer through their diagnosis and treatment. Haya Panjwani, Washington.
The Trump administration continues its push to reduce the number of recommended vaccines for children.
The Trump administration has just filed an appeal to a judge's March order that blocked the decision by Health Secretary RFK Jr. to end broad recommendations for all children to be vaccinated against flu, rotavirus, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, some forms of meningitis, and RSV, a respiratory virus. In July, the American Academy of Pediatrics and other medical groups filed a lawsuit that originally focused on Kennedy's decision to stop recommending COVID-19 vaccines for children and pregnant women. The lawsuit was updated as Kennedy made more policy changes. I'm Donna Warder.
Americans are paying for the war in Iran with every visit to the gas station, but some of the damage to the U.S. economy is being offset, for now anyway, by big tax refunds and an investment boom driven by artificial intelligence. A good day on Wall Street with the Dow up by 790 points. The Nasdaq rose by 219 with the S&P 500 advancing by 73. Oil near $105 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
Here's something most people don't know. When Warren Buffett was just 13 years old, he didn't put his money into a savings account. While other kids were earning next to nothing at local banks, Buffett put $114 into a little-known investment. Today, that $114 would be worth over $15 million. And it wasn't a risky trade, it wasn't insider knowledge. It was an account that's been around since 1888, and over the last 25 years, it's averaged 29% a year. That's what happens when your money is allowed to compound. Compare that to today's savings account, paying less than 0.5%, while inflation quietly eats away at your buying power. Buffett understood early, banks are great businesses, just not for savers. If you'd like to see what some investors call the 29% account, go now to ask29account.com. That's ask29account.com. Ask29account.com.
Americans will soon have more options when it comes to saving for retirement. Bob Agnew reports.
An order signed by President Trump calls for a new government website where people can find and compare private sector retirement savings accounts. The order is intended to help more people gain access to retirement plans before next year. That's when the federal government will start matching retirement contributions made by lower-income Americans. President Trump said he also wants to get Congress to expand the federal match to those who make more than the current cutoff of $35,500. Bob Agnew reporting.
Amtrak is considering a allowing people to store guns in lockboxes on most of its trains, which critics say would weaken security measures that instead should be strengthened in light of the shooting at last weekend's White House Correspondent Association dinner. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters reporting.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy this evening, a low temperature dipping down to 55. Tomorrow we'll get clouds throughout the day, a slight 20% chance we get a shower, the high is 70. Saturday's a rain out, 90% chance we get rain in the morning and afternoon. Cooler also, the high is 63. But Sunday is wonderful, sunshine, a high of 70. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Not again. We got another one.
You told me, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I said at the very end of the top of the hour, talking about Clemson's schedule. That Florida State series is at Clemson. I said down there, not in Tallahassee.
That's pathetic,
What's that
Phil.
total now? What's that take it to?
If it was 50 a couple minutes ago, it is 51 now.
Oh, right. Very good. Very good.
Congratulations. You're closer to 100 than you are to 0.
You're correct on that. Thank you.
I did math, yeah.
You're a whiz. What can I tell you for a soon-to-be college dropout? That's very good.
It's impressive, yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry. That's 51 errors. A man who's I don't think ever made an error, both as a broadcaster or when he was a slick fielding shortstop at beautiful Boca Raton High School down there, the beautiful people in Florida. It's now time for a visit with Mike Morgan here on Sports Talk. Mike Morgan on the move, brought to you by Play It Again Sports in Harbison. Chris Mosley runs the best sporting goods shop in the Palmetto State with all the things you'll want to buy, sell, or trade. Best selection, best prices with a great friendly staff. Play It Again Sports in Columbia.
Morgan on the move, driven by JT's Kia on Greystone, Killian, and Rock Hill.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Mike Day.
Woo-hoo!
Okay, time to welcome Mike Morgan into Sports Talk once again. Morgan on the move. Good evening, Mike. Sounds like you're somewhere tonight.
Yes, I'm moving out of a loud area into a more quiet area to hear all the terrific pearls of wisdom you're about to throw upon us during this segment.
Well, are you at the Hawks game?
What's that?
Are you at the Hawks game?
No, I am not. I will be watching, though. I don't know how much confidence I have in the Hawks after the last couple of games. The Knicks have pretty much taken them to the woodshed. But, yeah, I'll be watching tonight.
Okay. Well, they've had their chance. Do you want to tell us where you are, or is this private information?
Well, as usual, when we do this fine segment of the 7 o'clock hour, I'm near a restaurant or at a restaurant. So I'm trying to find a spot. You know, most normal people eat between the hours of 6 and 8 when your fine program is on. So I'm just relocating.
Yeah, I understand that. We're entertainment for a lot of dinners around the state of South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
See us
of course.
We help the salami go down that much easier when you're listening to us.
Potatoes, and oh, by the way, corn's he's on a heater. Let's listen then.
Okay, I was going to talk about the Braves. They had been on a roll, but they lose today to the Tigers, but that's okay. They won the series. But they fall 5-2, but they're 22-10. What about this start for them this month of April? Pretty doggone good.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. And you think about it, there's no Spencer Strider yet. You know, I mean, you're not, and your starting shortstop technically is not back in the lineup yet. So, I mean, you're really doing this without a member of your starting nine, one of your top rotation guys. Need I remind everybody that they planned on having Jurickson Profar starting in the outfield, and he once again could not stay away from PEDs. So the offseason couldn't have gone much worse. The actual season, and then there's Swollenbach. I didn't mention him either. Another guy in their rotation. So this is not even the full strength Braves, and yet they're dominating the East. And what's happening at the same time is that the Mets and the Phillies are two of the most disappointing teams in all of Major League Baseball, and they were supposed to be the teams that would lead the division. So, yeah, it's so far I don't think you could ask for much more out of the month of April than what Atlanta has had happen.
Has Walt Weiss done anything in particular from his managerial style, his personality? Anything stands out to you that can be directly attributed to him that's led to this really good start?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, here's the thing: what I've learned with so many years in college baseball and the years I've been up close calling games and working with the Braves back when I did that, the managing, it's really the right term. It's not. There's not a ton of strategy that goes into it. You're not doing one-on-one instruction. I mean, if you remember, for example, I was talking about this the other day. You know, when Carolina had it rolling, it wasn't uncommon in the middle of an at-bat for Ray Tanner to call timeout, talk to his hitter, and give him some instruction, words of advice. That kind of stuff never happens at the big league level. The big league level, I mean, you let the guys do their own thing. They're professionals, and they don't expect to be learning a whole lot per se. Even, you know, it's not uncommon if you're going through a tough time offensively. Fire the hitting coach. Well, these guys, they have their own hitting coach. They have, you know, very seldom are they leaning on a major league hitting coach to help them get out of a slump. So I think the biggest thing with Walt Weiss is just a fresh voice. And that is no knock on Brian Snitker, who did an outstanding job. But at some point, it's just nice to have a new voice in there. Walt played for the Braves. Walt does have managerial experience. So from all those standpoints, it was a good fit, a good hire. I would have been just as happy had they hired David Ross, kind of a similar background and resume. But I think that's the biggest thing. Number one, you got to have players, and the Braves have players. And number two, I just think after last year, which was such a disappointment, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong, I think this team was really ready to turn the page, and so far they have.
Turn our attention to the college game for a moment. Ahead of you, we had Eric Bakich on from Clemson, who was, of course, very good and answered a lot of questions. You know, his team's in last place in the ACC, something I've never seen with Clemson baseball, sitting in dead last in the ACC. They got a chance with BC coming up this weekend, a very good BC team, then Florida State. They can help themselves here moving forward and maybe get back into the NCAA tournament. But in the grand scheme of college baseball this season, with the surprises both up and down, where do you put the Clemson scene where the Tigers are sitting here last in the ACC?
I mean, I think it pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it? They're obviously not a very good team, and South Carolina hasn't been a very good team for the last 2 years. So again, I posed this question last week on your show. Why is this the case? How does this South Carolina baseball, the state of South Carolina baseball, with the two premier programs, with all due respect to Coastal, how are they both now in a situation where neither one of them have been to Omaha in over a decade? Neither one of them have been very good now this season, and for Carolina the last 2 years. You know, Carolina could be looking at what would be its fourth coach since Ray Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
And Clemson, of course, is already on its second since Shaq Leggett. I mean, it's a very curious situation. You know, I don't know what to attribute it to completely, but I do find it ironic is not the right word, but I do find it curious how both these programs have slipped from the upper echelon of college baseball.
Yeah. It's puzzling. It's puzzling what's going on. Talking to Mike Morgan as he's waiting in line at Taco Bell. Are you getting the taco dinner, the 3 tacos with the cheese enchilada? What are you planning?
You know, it's funny. I did not. Taco Bell is off my list. My stomach just can't handle it like it used to.
Well, there goes the commercial.
Yeah, sorry if that's a sponsor, but I did have Mexican.
They won't be anymore. They won't be a sponsor anymore. We were lining them up, but not anymore.
That's all right. You'll find another fine fast food establishment to sponsor this show and fill Cornbluth's stomach. But I can't. I just can't do it. It's a little rough on me. That's all I'm going to say.
I understand. So
yeah.
All right. So what are you hearing? What is your feel right now? Jeremiah Donati said this week that he's hiring a firm to help him with the search for the new baseball coach, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you think he might be? Where do you think he might turn? What do you think he's thinking?
I have no idea because I don't know Jeremiah Donati at all. You know, we started kind of looking at the two ways you can go on this, and if you look around the SEC, a lot of the coaches are not former established coaches at power programs, but they're rather former assistants. You know, like a Butch Thompson, somebody like that. When Tennessee hired Tony Vitello, very few people knew who he was. He was an assistant coach who wanted the Missouri job. They wouldn't give it to him. So there's two ways to cut it. It's not like college football where you either hire the Group 5 head coach or the hot coordinator in the Power 4. It's you can either go an assistant or you can go an established head coach. And look, Carolina has swung and missed at some pretty big names for the job. You know, nobody could accuse Ray Tanner of not what we commonly call big game hunting. They went big game hunting, but you don't always get who you want when you big game hunt. And so at that point you have to pivot. And who knows what that search firm is going to spit out and who Jeremiah is going to lean on and what. I really have no idea. I think we're all kind of learning what Jeremiah Donati, what his MO is in a situation like this, because there's no track record yet at Carolina. With Mike McGee, you knew what he was going to go after. Not really sure what Eric Hyman was doing other than saying, hey, Eddie Fogler, give me a list of names and tell me who to hire. And then Ray, like I said, when it came to multiple sports, it was a lot of big game hunting. Remember, he went after Tom Herman. He went after Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart would have taken the job had Georgia not panicked a little bit and said, we can't let him go to South Carolina. Let's hire him before the Gamecocks get him. So you kind of had a pattern with those ADs. I have no idea what Mr. Donati is going to do.
Yeah. Before I let you go, and I don't want if share as much as you care to share if you have anything to share, but I am stupefied over the change in the football play-by-play voice with the Georgia Bulldogs, and you being right there in the heart of everything with Georgia in Atlanta and in the media and connected and knowing everybody that breathes and talks Georgia Bulldogs. Your reaction to that move, did you know it was coming? Did the people around you there in the media know it was coming? What can you tell us about that? Because I thought Scott Howard was really, really good at what he did.
First off, let this be known in the decade and a half of us doing this segment, I've never heard you use the word stupefied. So I'm just
kind of expanded my vocabulary here recently.
You have.
Yeah.
You've really stepped up your game. We've come a long way
I've
from
been
cat in the hat.
I've been trying to improve my vocabulary and handling some of these names, from Czechoslovakia and Lithuania, and you know, been working on. There's something. What's that thing called on the internet that you can get? You can learn foreign languages really fast. What's it called?
Oh, Rosetta Stone.
Yeah. I got one of those.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like it.
Yeah.
Number one, I won't tell you if I knew or not. Well, I'll leave that. Leave that be. But number two, it's a little hard for me to comment on that because I know Scott and I've known Jeff for 20-something years. When I was doing Gamecock games, Jeff, I was the youngest announcer in the SEC. Jeff was the second youngest announcer, and he's been grinding it out for a long time. I'm very happy for him.
Sure.
I have no ill will towards Scott Howard, but clearly, I mean, these type of moves now, when something like that happens, that's a university saying, we want to step in and make this our guy. That's not a media rights holder just doing what they do, which is, okay, how do we save on the bottom line, or how do we do this or that? That's the university. I mean, if you look at it, Tennessee, for example, Bob Kessling retires. This never happens. You had an established NFL announcer leave his job for the Volunteers because they made him a full-time university employee. University of Florida, with their hire, full-time university employee. I'm sure when Jeff was approached for this job, they gave him a very good deal. Some schools do it that way, and they invest a lot in their radio. Some go on the cheap and just say, let's just have a guy do it, and we'll pay him freelance. So any school that takes that post seriously enough to kind of reward the guys, I applaud them. I applaud the Georgias, the Tennessees, the Floridas, the Alabamas with Chris Stewart, and these are all guys that I came up the ranks with. So I'm happy for all of them that have been rewarded for it. But no, I don't think it's anything personal against Scott. I really don't, and I agree with you. I don't think Scott did a bad job at all. I just think they wanted to pivot.
Understood. You enjoy your meal tonight. Appreciate you being with us. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, I'm going to go get the burrito supreme with extra guac.
Yeah, it's good.
And a pound of lard on the side.
Perfect. And wash it down with a Coke. Wash it down with a full-strength Coke. Thank you very much. Mike Morgan at dinner and Morgan on the move, hitting up one of Atlanta's, no doubt, hot restaurants. Listen, I mean, I like Scott Howard. I got no dog in the fight. I'm just a listener. When I scan the radio, I know good and I know not good. He was good. What?
Oh, just looking at a text from Ray.
Oh, Ray's an idiot. I know good, I know not good, and he was good. That's why I was so surprised about it. Okay, but things happen for sure. We'll be back.
This is Major Billy Downer with the Department of Natural Resources, and I've got a message for all of our hunters out there. When you go afield, always make sure to positively identify your target. Know the identifying features of the game you're hunting, and know what's beyond your target in case you miss. If you want more information on hunter education, visit dnr.sc.gov or join us on Wednesday nights for SC Wild.
You can listen to SC Wild on the Sports Talk Media Network or at dnr.sc.gov/podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jim Corbett. I've been an attorney for more than 30 years. There's one thing I've learned about injury cases. It's you need the personal touch. You need the lawyer to get to know you and describe your damages. You don't want a case manager talking to an insurance company and then talking to you and then talking to maybe to a lawyer with limited experience at the last minute to try to settle a case. I talk to you. I find out what your case is about. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com. Jim at JimCorbettAttorney.com for your injury cases.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, time for recruiting here on Sports Talk. It is brought to you by Seawells. We know what tomorrow is. It's not just a Friday, it's a roast beef Friday. You do yourself a disservice if you don't get to Seawells on a roast beef Friday. Tomorrow's a roast beef Friday. Friday. Roast beef Friday. You said earlier in the week it was a roast beef Friday.
So remember yesterday when I told you I think the menu said the 23rd?
Yeah. So you made a mistake.
I did not make a mistake. No.
I think you did.
No, it was not me.
All right, what you got?
All right, so today there was a roast beef Friday. So if you got it was a roast beef Thursday. So if you got the Seawells today, you had roast beef. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow though, lemon pepper and honey barbecue chicken wings, baked flounder fillets, Italian lasagna, and southern fried chicken.
Okay, it sounds good. 11 to 2. I'm sorry, 11 to 2. 11 to 2. Tuesday. I'm reading something else here, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Would you like me to read it?
No, Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 2, for the best buffet that you'll ever stick your jowls into.
Okay,
and
for reference, don't stick your jowls into the buffet to ruin the meal for everybody else.
And for the best in catering, just give Seawells a call at 803-771-7385, online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. South Carolina took a kicker out of the portal. John Malik Orson announced for the Gamecocks today. He was at USC, and he is coming from Southeast Missouri State. He will join Max Kelly, Mason Love, Upton Bellenfant in the kicking competition. He had no stats last year at Southeast Missouri State. He's a native of St. Louis. South Carolina offensive line coaches Randy Clements and Jason Smith will make a top offensive lineman target their focal point this weekend for his official visit, and that's going to be Stafford Willis coming in from Texas. He made a couple of spring visits to USC, one in March and one in April. Now he's coming back with his parents for his official visit this weekend. He is truly excited about taking this visit to South Carolina, and he said they're excited to see him. He got a chance to watch the Gamecocks practice. Now he gets a chance to learn more about the coaches and about the program on the inside, so he's looking forward to that. They see him as a tackle-guard hybrid type of offensive lineman. He will visit UCLA May 15th, Oklahoma State May 29th, Virginia Tech June 5th, and Arkansas June 19th. Clemson has been involved but hasn't offered. He visited Clemson on March the 30th, and offensive line coach Matt Luke made an in-home visit with him recently. He was told that their process is a little bit different. They do like him, and he was told they wanted to get through all their spring visits and then go from there. He still has his June 12 through 14 weekend available if he takes an official to Clemson. He's also looking at Florida State, Virginia, Alabama, Nebraska for possible official visit there. But he really likes South Carolina coming into this one. New offers by the Gamecocks, 28 class, defensive back Isaiah Vickers, 6'1", 180, Quincy, Florida. Linebacker Will Wyatt, 6'2", 215, Buford, Georgia. Defensive end Stephen McClendon, 6'5", 235, Douglasville, Georgia. 29, quarterback Kayel Samfong Talia, 6'2", 234, formerly of Dillon, now in Cumming, Georgia. 2030, defensive end Zakir Muhammad, 6'4", 225, Stone Mountain, Georgia. 2030, linebacker Rodney Walker Jr., 6'2", 191, of Beaufort, Georgia. 2028, defensive end Christian Webb Scott of Westside, offered by Notre Dame. 29, running back Braden Bolts of Crestwood, offered by Tennessee. In basketball, College of Charleston coach John Gross announced the signing of Ben Bradford. 6'5", rising junior, spent 2 seasons at Charlotte, averaged over 13 points per game. And 6'4", Yakia Milton, headed to Clemson from Southern Cal. That's for the women. That is what we've got tonight for you in recruiting. Make sure I didn't leave anything out here very quickly. Did that. One quick one. Wide receiver Deshaun Hall has Clemson in his final 7. Penn State, Michigan, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, and Ohio State make out the receiver's final 7. He is from Prattville, Alabama. We got Dr. Rick coming up after the break.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Cloudy this evening, a low temperature dipping down to 55. Tomorrow we'll get clouds throughout the day. A slight 20% chance we get a shower. The high is 70. Saturday's a rain out. 90% chance we get rain in the morning and afternoon. Cooler also, the high is 63. But Sunday is wonderful. Sunshine, a high of 70. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
What's better than getting the best Wagyu and Hereford beef anywhere in these parts and getting it delivered to your door? How about knowing you're still supporting local farmers in Saluda over at H&J Cattle, where tradition meets quality. Visit HandJCattle.com. Place your order for $50 or more, get free delivery in Richland or Lexington County. Plus, Point listeners get 10% off your order. Enter keyword The Point as one word for your discount. HandJCattle.com.
The Point.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says he's nominating former Fox News Channel contributor Dr. Nicole Saphier for Surgeon General after Dr. Casey Means' path forward stalled in the Senate. In a social media post Thursday, Trump said Saphier is a star physician who has spent her career guiding women facing breast cancer through their diagnosis and treatment. President Trump has signed a bill funding much of the Department of Homeland Security and ending the longest agency shutdown in history. The bipartisan funding measure passed the House earlier Thursday. The Trump administration had warned that temporary funds to pay Transportation Security Administration and other personnel would soon run out if Congress failed to act. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 790 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
Experience South Carolina's printing powerhouse. Professional Printers is your trusted partner, bringing over 30 years of expertise in print and graphics. From digital printing to web and sheet-fed solutions, we handle it all with a team of over 100 dedicated professionals. Locally owned and operated, we have 2 locations in the Midlands and serve our customers with pride, ensuring top-notch service and quality in every project. We do it all, including storage and promotional products. Visit proprinters.com and elevate your printing experience with us.
How does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Suddeth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs, well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you become a customer? Call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SuddethAuto.com.
Spring is the perfect time to make sure your home stays comfortable. For over 12 years, Sweet Comfort Services has been proud to serve Columbia as the best small family-owned heating and air company in the area. Whether you need repairs, a new installation, or preventative maintenance, our trusted team has you covered. We install dependable systems from Goodman and Train, and if you have a quote from any licensed HVAC company, we'll match or beat their price. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweethvac.com. Sweet Comfort Services, keeping Columbia comfortable.
Stranded on the roadside? Don't stress. Call Schroeder's Towing. Day or night, rain or shine, our expert team is ready to help you through any car trouble. Flat tire, an accident, or a dead battery. With top-notch trucks, we'll safely tow anything from compacts to semis. Your safety and your vehicle security are our top priorities. Save our number now, 772-7930. Schroeder's Towing. There when you need us most. 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, Columbia's finest and fastest hookers in town.
Update that match between Arkansas State and Coastal Carolina is now 3.5 to 1.5. Two matches are over. Both of them went to Arkansas State. One is tied. Coastal leads in another, and the other Arkansas State leads in. So 3.5 to 1.5. Coastal down in that championship match. And South Carolina, the Gamecocks having their stop in Charleston tonight. I think it's Charleston tonight. Couple of quick items that I've seen tweeted out by Jordan Kay of the State newspaper and David Cloninger also down there. And Jordan Kay says that A.D. Jeremiah Donati said South Carolina, quote, is the prettiest girl at the dance, end quote, for college baseball coaches. He noted South Carolina will likely be the top or one of the top college baseball programs with a head coaching opening. And he also talked to Lamont Paris about the increased cost of landing transfer portal talent. And Paris acknowledged how the university and the athletic department has set him up for success. Quote, it's like an auction sometimes. In some of these situations we were in, it was nice to have the paddle last, end quote. So I'm confused here. I mean, I'm still wondering if, because I haven't read a whole lot about the situation with Devion Hanna, the guard that they've been dealing with. Wisconsin's been involved. I read a story where Wisconsin thought they were out. Now they think they're back in. Is that where the guy is going? Is that why Paris put out the list yesterday? And he's talking. He said we were in. In some of these situations, we were in, which makes it sound like it's in the past, like it's over. So we'll have to see if anything like that comes to fruition. And let's see. Shane Beamer said that Seth Smith has one remaining year of eligibility. So that's what that ruling was about the other night from the NCAA affecting his clock. So that gives him one more year of eligibility. And see, I'm just looking here very quickly for any other notes. I guess that is all we've got and all we need for now, because all we got is all we need, and all we need is all we got. I think something like that. Time to talk about the NFL draft, which began 1 week ago tonight, and feels like it ended just yesterday, but ended over the weekend. Time to welcome into the program a man who keeps an eye on the NFL and the NFL draft because he was one of the greats of his time. You know him as the number one draft pick, number 25 in your program, number one in your heart. We know him as Dr. Rick Sanford. Good evening, Dr. Rick.
Phil, what an entrance. I mean, could it get any better?
Yes, it
I mean,
could.
really. Yeah. Well, go ahead. I'll give you another few seconds.
I
to
left
make it
out.
better.
Did I say Drick? I think I left out Drick. I meant to say
Yes.
Drick.
No, you got the Drick in.
I got
We're
the Drick
good.
in. Okay, good.
Oh,
How
yeah.
are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Phil. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Always. I had a nice lunch the other day, and I said, let's talk about the draft. So let's talk about the draft, because were you as much into this draft as you have been in previous drafts?
Phil, I was. I'm into the draft every year because I find it so intriguing as to watch each team, how they try to build their program. And it's really interesting to me how, some guys may be rated top of the second round, but they squeeze themselves into the first round, and then vice versa, So it's always a very intriguing part of my life every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I follow it closely. I do.
Yeah.
And so I've watched it, since the day I was drafted. I remember the following year after I was drafted, I watched the NFL draft on TV for the first time in 1980 on ESPN. And I wish it would have been a year because I got to watch myself get drafted. But but it's a true story. It started in 1980, and I've watched it every year, pretty religiously.
Are you somewhat amazed, or maybe not at all? I don't know. Don't want to put words in your mouth, but 300,000 plus people crammed in, about like 700,000 plus over the 3 days in Pittsburgh. People just showing up to be in this massive humanity to watch these guys' names called out. The players, they don't necessarily show up on the stage anymore, but you just see their names or their representatives or whatever. That many people turning out to watch this thing, it's amazing.
Well, it is, but, nothing really amazes me when it comes to the NFL, Phil, because, they market so well. It's pretty easy to market football. It's easy in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest. But if the NFL promoted it for 2 months and said we're going to have the NFL have the draft next year over here on Broad River Road in Columbia, there'd probably be 100,000 people standing out there.
Yeah.
It's just they do a remarkable job. You got to give them credit. They really do.
So from your perspective, your knowledge, what surprised you? Did anything really surprise you in the first round? Did everything kind of fall as you thought it would be, or if there were some surprises, what were some of those to you?
Well, there was a surprise a little bit with the Jets not taking Arvell Reese. I kind of thought they would take him over the Texas Tech linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
but I can see why they didn't. I understand that. But the biggest surprise, I think, had to be, to most people, was the Ty Simpson pick at number 13 with the Rams as a quarterback. And, the Rams are, let's face it, the Rams right now are probably, in the top 5 teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Matthew Stafford at quarterback, who's 38 years old, yes, but he's coming back another year. And, the reason he's coming back, Phil, is that they're going all in to win. Let's be honest. This is going to be it. Probably for Stafford. Probably after this year will probably be his last year. And so they and we talked about this a little bit at lunch the other day. And I told you, I said they are always a step ahead. Sean McVay, the connection. He just seems to think ahead, and he's gotten himself to the point where I got to have a quarterback when Stafford leaves. And so he took Ty Simpson, which, hey, most people look at Ty Simpson and they say, and I'm not a defender of Ty Simpson, okay? I'm just thinking like the Rams think, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the Rams are thinking, he kind of reminds me of Matthew Stafford. If you look at him, he's not a big runner, but he throws the football effectively. And he can run if he has to. He's like a younger Matt Stafford to me right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably why McVay held private meetings with him. I don't know if you saw this, but McVay had private meetings before the draft with Ty Simpson and told him, don't you dare tell anybody that we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if somebody moves ahead of us, at 13, i.e. the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Jets, then you're not going to be with us. So if you spread this word, then, you're not going to be here. So long story made short, I think it was a pretty ingenious move on the Rams' part. Now, whether he pans out, that's always the magical question, Phil. We don't know. We have no idea. But they seem to think he is Matt Stafford as a young guy.
You mentioned the trying to keep something secret and get your guy. How about the situation at 20 and 21 where Mekhi Lemon was on the phone with the Steelers? All of a sudden, he gets a phone call from the Eagles, and the Eagles swoop in there and they get him, and the Steelers take an offensive lineman at 21. But, I mean, that was kind of interesting to see that kind of play out that way.
Well, that's why I love the draft. I love the draft because I like to see the intrigue, and it's really when you look at what happened in that situation, there may be some illegality to that because apparently Lemon was picked, yes, as you said, to the Eagles, but I'm not sure there's legal ramification that you can basically poach a guy, with the Steelers talking to him at that time. So I don't know who's right and who's wrong in that situation, Phil, because I hadn't really figured it all out. But it's just like I said, it's the intrigue of it all to me, and because these guys feel that's their job every year. These scouts, these front office people, and if they don't get it right, you know what happens? They'll be, we'll see you later. It's kind of like, we're going to get it right or we're not going to get it right. And if we don't get it right, then we'll find somebody else who'll try to get it right.
Absolutely.
So that's the intrigue to me every year.
3 guys from the state taken in the first round. Blake Miller, Clemson, going to the Lions. The Lions seem to be ecstatic about that. Monroe Freeling from Oceanside Collegiate, a Georgia Bulldog, going to the Panthers, and then Peter Woods from Clemson going to Kansas City, and Kansas City traded to get him from the Rams had that pick, and Kansas City traded and got it. So your thoughts on those 3 guys? Good places for them? You like those picks?
Well, I think they were good picks. They were solid picks. Now the one pick I wasn't wild about was the Woods pick. I don't think Woods was a first rounder this year. I mean, if you look back on his past history from this past season, he did not play well. Well, I mean, he would probably tell you the same thing, Phil. So I'm not dissing on him. I'm just saying I think that he was probably more of a second round pick at this point, and at that point when he was picked. But I do think. He's a solid football player, but I think he was into the I'm going to protect myself for the NFL draft this year, and I'm not going to try to hurt myself in college last year. And I think some guys have gotten to that point, so I am not criticizing him whatsoever. But I think that's the state what college football has brought about is that you at this point, Phil, I mean, look at how many players that Clemson had drafted. They tied the number of players they had drafted of all time, 9 players, and they was 7 and 6.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. I mean, there's something wrong with the system here.
The interesting thing too is Dabo Swinney was asked about that last week, and he blamed himself. He said it was my fault. Blah 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 blah. And coaches are so scared to blame the players. I mean, yeah, you probably had some culpability in that, but I mean, your players didn't play well. They didn't play up to their potential, obviously. Maybe they didn't play as hard as they should have. You as a coach can only do so much, right? I mean, the players have got to play.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with you, Phil. I don't think Dabo should have to take the blame for that. I mean, I don't think he's to blame at all, quite honestly. I think it's just the state of college football, and with the NIL situation, these guys are getting paid a lot of money. Yeah, they're getting paid a lot, but Peter Woods, I think his ineligibility was out, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but if his ineligibility was out and he was getting paid, a few $1 million to play at Clemson, but where he's looking at it and thinking, well, I'm projected to be in the top of the first round. I'm going to protect my legs, and I'm going to protect my, my shoulders, everything I can do. And I don't bring it just on Peter. I bring it on all players. It's to the point. There's something that has to be done to bring some kind of normalcy back to college football, because you got guys. This is what is crazy to me, Phil. You got guys. Let's take a Dante Moore at Oregon. He would have been the second pick in this draft this year, okay, as a quarterback. And you got a guy staying in school to play, not coming out of school just to stay in for the NIL purposes. And, it's all over the money. I mean, it's seriously over the money. It's insane the way it's gotten, that now guys aren't leaving for the NFL, where it used to be the other way around. Guys would say, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to get some money out of the NFL. Well, now they can stay in college and get that kind of money.
Yeah. The thing is, college used to be that middle ground between high school and the NFL. You played your high school football, and then you went to NFL to improve. I mean, you went to college to improve and fine-tune your game, and then if you're good enough, you take the ultimate step to the NFL. And you're right. I mean, as a human being, psychologically, if you're already making $3 or $4 million playing college football, and you're making that, where's the incentive to drive yourself and get better? Just because maybe you might make $1 million more going to the next level, or maybe even less. Where's the incentive to take college football and get better?
Well, that's the other part, is that they look at, and I'll just speak for these quarterbacks, I think what the quarterbacks look at, and they say, well, if I have eligibility left and I can stay here and play, whereas if I go to the NFL right now, there's no guarantee I'm going to even play next year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the biggest fear, I always said this about any player, Phil, is lack of playing time. And when they can't play, if they're just sitting as a backup on the sideline when they could be sitting in college and playing, and, a guy like Dante Moore, he's not going to up his draft status a whole lot, but he's going to up his bank account a whole lot by sitting there an extra year and then grabbing the NFL, after that.
Yeah. Last thing, we'll let you go. Of course, in the second round, T.J. Parker, Clemson went, and you also had Avion Terrell from Clemson going, and then you had the first Gamecock going, Brandon Cisse, but he was the first pick of the Packers, even though he was taken in the second round because they didn't have a first-round pick. What do you think of that pick by the Packers, Cisse? And, I mean, when you're a second-round pick, but you're the first pick of the team, do you kind of look at yourself as like a first-round pick?
No, you never look at yourself as a first-round pick until you are a first-round pick, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good pick by the Packers. I really do. I think Brandon's going to do well there. I really do. He's got a few little fundamental things he needs to iron out and all, but I do think he's a good choice. I actually thought he would be drafted a little ahead of when he was drafted. But I think it was a solid pick for the Packers.
I said last thing. This is the last thing. We'll let you go. You think South Carolina will have 3 first-round picks next season next year with Sellers and Stewart, and now the offensive tackle Peak? Could they have 3 first-round picks?
Well, I've seen the projections, and it says that, Phil. But Clemson had 9 guys drafted on a 7-6 record. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say what kind of season you're going to have. You might have some great individual players out there, but to me, it's hard to project at this point. But all signs point to. If South Carolina has because this does affect it, Phil, a good record, I think, affects specifically quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And I think, you take a look at Lenore Sellers or someone like that, he's going to have a good season. And if he has a good season, I think that he'll be, into the first round somewhere. If he has a mediocre season and his team has a mediocre season, then I don't know. I just really don't know.
Now, he's got another year of eligibility, but I don't think he'll come back to South Carolina if he doesn't go high in the draft, if he doesn't meet what his draft expectations are to come back to South Carolina for another year. I mean, it's possible he does have that year of eligibility remaining. But
well, why wouldn't you, Phil? Phil, why wouldn't you if you're making $3 million and you're only going to make, $1 million in the pros the following year? Why wouldn't you just, ride it on out?
Yeah.
And that's the advantage of NIL. That's the way it's become.
Yep. Dr. Rick, we appreciate it, man. Great talking to you. Great seeing you the other day. Keep up the good work on those Pilates and that yoga and all the other stretching exercises that you do. You still look like you could lower the shoulder into Earl Campbell and bring him down, but I don't think you want to go through that again.
Well, actually, Phil, that really did happen one time, and I paid the price for it, so I don't want to report that again.
And you're still feeling it. We'll see you soon. Thank you, my friend. All right.
All right, thank
you. Number 1 draft pick, number 25, Dr. Rick Sanford. Be back in a moment.
Stop giving your hard-earned money to high interest rates. Founders Federal Credit Union delivers with credit card rates lower than the national average, with rates starting as low as 12.5% APR. That's way smarter than the over 20% APR rate the other guys are offering. Founders credit cards are reliable for all your needs, secure with MasterCard's ID theft protection and zero liability, and convenient with easy payments, loyalty points for rewards, and mobile access anytime through Founders Online. Experience the difference with Founders' lower cost, peace of mind, and effortless use. Take control of your finances right now. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc or an office near you to get your card today. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Effective training is not just about lifting heavier weight. It is about producing force with control. The Tsunami Bar was developed in 2012 to enhance high-intensity workouts while helping reduce joint stress. Its flexible design creates controlled oscillation, requiring your muscles to stabilize and work together throughout each movement. This promotes greater muscle activation, improved balance, and stronger functional performance. Tsunami Bar Sports is committed to continuous improvement, delivering dynamic training tools for individuals at every fitness level. Whether you are focused on long-term strength, injury prevention, or improving rotational stability for sports like golf, Tsunami Bar training supports total body performance. Discover more at TsunamiBarSports.com. Visit TsunamiBarSports.com. That's TsunamiBarSports.com.
This is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boating season is here, and as you get ready to go out on the water this spring and summer, make sure you have all the required safety equipment on board. Check for a sound device. A horn or whistle will suffice for most boats. Inspect all of your life jackets. Make sure they're in good condition and are the correct size for all of your passengers. If your boat is over 16 feet, you will need to make sure you have an approved throwable device on board as well. Remember, boating safety is no accident.
He says he's balanced, calls it down the line, but those Gamecock colors, they always shine. Corn good, oh corn good, says he's neutral, but we see the truth. Corn good, oh corn good, loves the Cox, it's his favorite suit.
All right, a little bit more from down in Charleston from the reporters here. David Kleiniger said that Lamont Paris said the roster will be filled out shortly. Expect more international names. And Jordan Kay, a story with Shane Beamer on why he hired a mentalist. And he said after what happened at Ole Miss, all the fumbles and then the way they blew things at Texas A&M, felt like he needed to do something to help his team from a mental and confidence standpoint. He said in this story that he just knew things were off with the way they played at Ole Miss, and then the A&M debacle had it happen. So he just said some mistakes they were making. He said that's on me, but some of the mistakes were mental and physical by older guys. I said to myself, I feel like there's some sports performance type coach that teams have. So he found him in Marius Alexa, Director of Process Development, after working with U.S. Army Special Warfare Center and School and MLB's Miami Marlins. So he is not a mental health professional. He's not a therapist, though players have access to those type of people. He is going to be around like a regular coach, team meetings, practices, ready to jump in to talk with a coach or a player about getting the most out of themselves. And Beamer believes that gives them an edge. He said if it helps Sellers make a great throw, whatever, just helping their guys process stuff, that's important, and he thinks that's a positive thing. Okay, let's see. Coastal Carolina, they're down 4-1. Looks like Arkansas State's going to win that. And Cameron Young leading in the first round, the Cadillac Championship at 8 under. Jordan Spieth and Alex Smalley 7 under. Brian Campbell's 2 under. Scotty Scheffler right where he wants to be at 1 under. Andrew Novak 1 under. Lucas Glover even. Jacob Bridgman +7. And we'll talk more golf tomorrow night, birdies and bogeys with George and Larry. That'll do it for tonight. Thanks for being with us. Thanks to our guests. Thank you, Plummer. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
WQXL